Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Don. Thanks for everyone who made this possible. I'd like to start first by saying what are we grateful for? Always when I start my coaching or my speeches on stage, I'd like to start with just to remind everyone that we should be grateful for something every day. Just had this idea today. I'm grateful for technology. It's bringing us all together and it's allowing me to speak here. How to flip the negative to become positive. I'm gonna take you on a journey with me. I'm gonna tell you my story, what happened to me, how I was able to stand up 11 times after I fell 10 times. I hope this will inspire you. At the end, I'm gonna share with you my tool, which is, I call it the PMI, which will help you to flip the negative to become positive. So here we go. Imagine yourself lying on the operating table during a routine checkup, and suddenly things take turn for the worse and you're watching yourself on the table. First thing that flashes through your mind isn't work, isn't career, isn't anything. It's these moments that you didn't get to share with your loved ones. It's these moments that you didn't get to spend with your family, with your friends, with your kids, with everyone. And that's what happened to me. I was born in 1976 in Lebanon. As you see, I'm translating. English is my third language. So imagine the amount of translation that's going on until I say the word, but it's fine. So I was born in Lebanon in 1976, just when the war started. And for the first 12 years of my life, we used to play a very nice game. We used to hide with my friends in shelters because there was war, and we used to guess these numbers. It was like, that's an 80, no, that's 110, that's 130. And one day we heard that something different, and we asked an adult there, and he said it's a 240. Those were the cannon calibers that were bombarding us at the time. So whether we were at school hiding under desk or in shelters, we were getting bombs, and it was fun for us as kids. But growing up, I didn't want to live this. I don't want my kids to live this. So I wanted to do something different. And this is how our childhood programming starts affecting us. I started studying hard and I mean, until I graduated from college, I changed 15 school and colleges in 6 different countries, traveling all the time, from running from country to country, traveling. At the age of 12 maybe or 13, I left my parents. I went to boarding school, then I came back. Then it's so it has been like a whole thing happening. My father was never around. He was always traveling for work. And I remember first time I asked him, Dad, when are you coming back home for good? We miss you. And he said, in a couple of years, son. I was 9 years old the first time I asked him this question. The last time I asked him this question was a couple of days ago, and it's still the same answer, couple of years. My mom is angry, sad, and lonely, and she still is. She always has been, and I don't blame her. So I thought, I don't want this. So as I said, I traveled a lot. I started pushing myself hard, working a lot. My family were living here in the States. We're in Powell and in Ohio. And I was on the other side of the world. I was between Dubai, India, South Africa, just everywhere, jumping everywhere. I used to take any job that no other human being could take. I used to take it. So whether it includes 16 or 17 hours a day of work, I take it. I push myself, because for me, I wanted something different, and I thought this is the way. And I mean, my relationship with my wife and kids was suffering. At least this is what they told me. I didn't know that, because for me, I used to send them loads of gifts, and it was fine. But I guess I was trying to compensate for this guilt feeling that I'm not there. 3 years ago, I went for a routine checkup, and I tell you the truth, it wasn't a routine checkup. I reached 450 pounds. I couldn't stand anymore, and my knees were shaking every time I walk. And I thought, I'm a top executive, I'm a top CEO, and I just can't sit on this chair, because in the other world, in the other part of the world, like in the Gulf, in Dubai, and all of these places, it's a shame and stuff. So never mind. So I went to this doctor. I told him, "Can't you do something?" And he said, "Sure. Let's do some tests." So I started doing all kind of tests and all kind of tests. And I woke up after these tests, and I saw the doctor doing this. And first thing, I was like, okay, he's trying to show me the fingers, because I was under the test and stuff, so I should count them. I said 5, I can count. He said this again, like, okay, that's a funny doctor. I mean, he's a family friend, so I thought he was being funny. He was trying to high five me. I was trying to reach out to high five him, and I couldn't. And he said, "These are 5 months you got to live." And the smile just went from my face, and the one that smile was like, "What?" He said, 5 months to live. I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "I'm sorry, you have something there, and I'm gonna go into medical stuff. It's a huge inflammation and stuff, and it's a very developed stage, and you have 5 months to live." So here everything stopped, and I suddenly realized that it doesn't matter. I mean, all of these hours of working, traveling, living out of a suitcase, never living in the same country for more than 2 years in a row, changing cities every year. For what? For having 5 months to live? Why? I mean, suddenly all of these flashbacks came to my mind. I mean, I woke up, I was born with war. Until the age of 12, we changed maybe 5 houses, because our houses were getting burned from bombs and from war. One time we had to escape through the forest for more than five days, and sleep in the forest just to escape all the assassination and stuff. And here I am. I have 5 months to live, and what did I do wrong? I mean, I've been working. The fact is, I've been planning for this my whole life, only if I knew. I mean, living unhealthy, eating unhealthy, not caring about anything. So I stopped and I said, enough. I need to fight. I'm gonna fight this, and once I'm out of this, I'm gonna change everything. I'm gonna help people to change. And I looked up, and you know how we are humans. We remember God only when we need him. So I said, "God, I just remembered you now. Please save me." And usually I pray and stuff, but so it took me 8 months to recover. I took the operation. It took 8 months to recover. And after recovering, I gave up. I gave up my position as top executive, where I was as main member of the board and partner and senior partner. I gave up everything. I came to live with my family and in Ohio, in the States. And I got certified as health and life coach and motivational speaker. I've been doing this for 3 years, helping top executive maintain balance, helping them rearrange their life. And I wrote a couple of processes about this, helping people. And I've been speaking on stages to help people, to help them realize that what they're doing it so they can be with their loved ones, and not just to spend their life doing this. And most of the people, when they realize this, when they are faced with this truth, it's like they're getting a slap on the face, and they freeze. And here's the process that I created that helps them flip the negative or the freeze. And in a while, I'm going to explain what's this into positive. So just before getting there, let me just continue my story. After many years, I returned to Lebanon, and this was maybe 10 years ago, before getting married. Before I left Lebanon, I was 11 or 12 years old, and I started working abroad. And after many years, I returned to Lebanon for a workshop. And going back just brought all of those unpleasant memories. So on that night, I went to this hole-in-the-wall coffee shop. I just sat there and started counting the seconds until the time is gone and I leave this country. Don't get me wrong, I love this country, but it just brings so many bad memories. So I was sitting there, I ordered my usual espresso and I have a book. As I'm old school, I love to read books and I love the smell of the pages. So here's this beautiful girl coming in and she sat on the other couch in front of me. And the whole coffee shop is just 2 couches. So I look at her and I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So I stood up, I walked towards her, I sat next to her and I nudged her. And without even looking at me, she had her book also in her hand. She said, I'm not interested. And I told her, oh God, you're still the same old mean girl. She looked at me, she was like, oh, is that you? Oh my God, it's been like, what, 15 years? We haven't seen each other. That girl was my best friend from school. We used to hide under the table together, holding hands when we were little, during war and during bombs. We used to run in the sun and play. She was my best friend, and today she's not anymore because she's my wife. We have 2 beautiful boys together. We have a cat and a dog together. She's still my best friend and she's my wife. So just when you think that the whole world has given up on you, just when you think that your whole world has stumbled and fell, know that there's always someone for you. Know that, I mean, when I sat in this place, it was dark, I was alone, and I just wanted the time to pass by. I was like, why my company sent me for a 2 days workshop here? And I knew why. I mean, I married my best friend and we were living a nice life. So I always get this question. What do I do to flip this negative that is pulling me back and make it positive, make it push me rather than pulling me back? And the first answer I tell people, you're doing it. I mean, you're here, whether you're listening now or you're one of my clients giving a session or you're on stage speaking. And by the way, I had like 5 or 6 scheduled stages before this COVID and they were all canceled. And here I am, still smiling. So I'm going to introduce today my tool, which is the PMI. The PMI is a tool I developed a while ago. I've been working on it and I developed it and I'm working with my clients on it. And it's an amazing tool. It's based on career and psychology and many other stuff. And of course, my coaching experience. So the P is for pivot, and this is what you need to do. This is the first step you need to do when you are faced with any, and I'm going to explain this very thoroughly. When you are faced with any situation, usually the human being, they have a self-defense mechanism. When you are faced with any change, you freeze usually. And why you freeze? Because you just want to stay in your comfort zone. And you stay in comfort zone and you freeze because this is where you are comfort. You don't want to move or anything. And you start giving yourself some excuses saying, I'm just evaluating the whole situation. I'm just waiting for the right moment. And these are just excuses for you to stay, because the way it is, the mind loves the challenge while the body loves the routine. And there's always this struggle between the mind who wants a challenge, who wants something new, who wants the thrill, and the body who wants the routine, who wants to eat the same thing and sleep at the same time and wake up at the same time. And because this is how it is. And this is what happens with, for example, I can tell about what my niche, which is like top executive and business people, when they focus a lot about their when they focus a lot about their career, they start forgetting everything else. They start forgetting about their body. So here's what you have to do. I'm gonna go real quick about this, and because just before I forget, I give free consultation. Just reach out to me if you need anything. So I'm just gonna go quickly about this. First thing, you freeze. So you need to acknowledge the change. First of all, let's acknowledge the situation we're in. Let's say we know we're living this new COVID thing, this new stay home, and this is how it is. Honor your routine. So what I do is I still wake up in the morning, I still say my prayers, I still do my meditation, get dressed, and rather than turning my car on and driving to my office, I just walk to my home office now. Now, the trick is, let's make it fun. So let's tell our body and our mind that this new normal is fun. This way it will stop fighting it. So how is fun? For example, take bigger breaks. What I do is I take Wednesday off. I take like a weekend, which is Saturday, Sunday, plus Wednesday off. I take a longer break. I take lunch with my family. So it's fun for me. Then find the fun. Find the fun. I sent the other day an email for myself and asking for a day off, and I approved it. So it's fun. Here's the thing. I always hear this from people. Get out of your comfort zone. I say, do not get out of your comfort zone. You've been working on your comfort zone and you like it. It's your safe place. It's your customized place. It's like you've been playing this game and this is the level that you have mastered and you love playing it because it's fun. You mastered this level. So what you do is drag the comfort zone with you while keeping the challenge on. So this is the whole process I'm talking about. The M from PMI is find the human in the situation. Focus on the values, not fear. Do not talk about the problem. Just focus on the values. Mute your news app. Stop these pop-up from the news that I don't know how many deaths and I don't know. Just mute those. And finally, just post pictures, tag your friends, go online, tell people what you're doing, inspire people. So it's pivot, move forward and inspire. Do not freeze, because when you freeze, you're freezing, you're sitting where you are. That's it. And the whole world is going forward and you are going backwards. So that's the whole thing. Now, if I have like 1 more minute, I'd like to give one more thing. I don't know, do I have 1 more minute? I just like to give you one last thing. It's a quick exercise. It doesn't take more than 30 seconds or 1 minute tops. So here's what I need from you. Just let's stand up all together and just fix your vision on one point at the end of the room, and that's called this point O, like objective. And just take a step forward. And when you take a step forward, stop and look at the same point and see how close it is. Acknowledge this moving forward that you did. Now look over your shoulder to the back and you see your old self still sitting there and still making excuses and still looking, and tell yourself how closer it looks from here. Tell yourself how good it looks, how motivated you feel. And this is all you need to do. Pivot, move, inspire. I hope I was able to inspire you. You can reach out to me I'm giving free consultation and I'm always approachable for anything. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Don. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for my fellow speakers who are also making this and inspiring everyone, guys. Thanks.